And welcome one, welcome all. It's time for NCAA men's volleyball at the Division III level as the visiting Titans of Illinois Wesleyan take on the home Firebirds of Carthage. Hello everybody, alongside my broadcast colleague this afternoon, Jill Ryczek, I'm Peter Ferreri. Looking at the contest overall, as you see on the screen, in CCIW play Illinois Wesleyan 1-2, Carthage 1-1. Both teams on the winning side of things recently. But a true test right now for Illinois Wesleyan as Carthage time and time again finds their winning ways. Carthage, their last loss just a few days ago against Loris, and that was a sweep as they got swept 3-0. They didn't score more than 20 points in either of those three sets. Bounced back a five-setter, a thriller against North Central. On the flip side, Illinois Wesleyan, been a back-and-forth season, beat North Park, beat Bethany, fell to Augustana at home in 4. So both teams looking to come out on the winning side of things. Going over to my broadcast colleague now, Jill. Let's start with the visiting Titans of Illinois Wesleyan. As you were discussing pregame, one of their leaders out of SICP, St. Ignatius College Prep in Chicago, Michael Eastman, the 6'2 outside hitting senior, has really led the charge for Illinois Wesleyan.
Yeah, he has, Peter. He's probably their best player. For the season, he has 178 kills, which leads his team. He also leads his team for serving aces with a total of 22 so far this season and a total of 208 total points, which is also leading his team so far this season.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see strategy-wise what Carthage tries to do. If you're Carthage, we'll put the coach hat on. If you're Carthage, do you try to slow him down and force somebody else to step up, or do you say we're just going to let him do his thing, and if we stop everybody else, we should come out victorious? What do you think we might see today?
Well, if I put on my coach's hat, you got to contain their best player, obviously, but he'll get tired. He won't be able to do everything on the court. There's 5 other guys that have to be able to help him, so it's going to be a team effort to control everyone on the other side of the court.
Sure. As for Carthage, as we spoke about, they have won 5 out of their last 6. Their only loss against Loris in the 3-set sweep, having already defeated North Central. On the flip side, if we're looking at their leaders, you may say, okay, this senior, this junior, this grad student. Well, one player that's really stood out so far is the freshman, Owen Otto.
Owen Otto, he's just an insane player. Not only is he a freshman, but he also leads his team in 126 kills. And he has 14 serving aces as well, so you trust him on the line. He's a great server, and he's a total of 147 points, which also is a leader for his team. That is, as a freshman, not only is that impressive, like whatever class you're in, but as a freshman, that's even more impressive. You got to give him all the credit for that.
Looking as well as the shortness or longness of the teams, and I want to point this out just in case we get there. Carthage has had quite a few 5-setters this year. It's been something Coach J.W. Kiefer has joked about. But besides once, all the 5-setters have favored that of the Firebirds. 5-setter against Dominican, 5-setter against Mount Union, 5-setter just a few days ago against North Central. How do you handle not only getting to a 5th set, but winning the 5th set? It's got to be such an endurance test.
It absolutely is. It is so tough, too, and I would say it's probably the most frustrating because, of course, you want to get in there and just win your 3 matches and get out. But, yeah, going to a 5th set is tough, and it's definitely a challenge, and it really pushes your endurance for sure.
Yeah, we were talking about the offensive onslaught of Illinois Wesleyan. Michael Eastman, 178 kills. Only other player over 100 is Bryce Williams. He's at 131. Offensively, however, for the Firebirds, it's such a diversified attack. As you stated, Owen Otto right now, 126 kills. Ben Heiss, 119. Cholowinski, 107. And also Cholowinski is one of the reigning CCIW Players of the Week. That's a nice accolade that he's gotten. So getting some recognition. Looking now at where the starters may be. We'll get that momentarily, but let's talk about Illinois Wesleyan one more time. Again, here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network, just about 5 minutes away from first serve. Albeit the records, you kind of can say throw them aside. Both teams one conference win, but you're at Tarble Arena. It's an away game. Carthage, perennially one of the best teams in the nation. What do you have to say to yourself mentally coming into this contest, because the last time these two teams met, it was a 3-set sweep by Carthage. So if you're Illinois Wesleyan, pushing that aside, what's one thing you have to do, a potential key to victory for them?
Just like you said, all of the players are so good on Carthage. There's just so much depth that it's going to be hard to focus on one or two players to really contain. But they're going to have to do it with a team effort and just stay focused and play their hardest, be strong.
We're going to take a timeout for the national anthem and starting lineups. We'll be back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. And we're back looking at the starting lineup for the home Firebirds. Jansen, McNulty will be setting. Oppo for Heiss. Otto getting the start. Cholowinski and Sprague in the middle, and Nolan at the libero position. They'll be heading left to right in their home weekend black jerseys with white numbers and letters and red trim. As for Illinois Wesleyan and the Titans, they'll be in their road greens with white numbers and letters, along with that black trim. And getting the start, Eastman, of course, along with Perez, DeCasola, Coogan, Romano, and Williams going to get the start. Both teams getting hyped up. I've gotten used to it now. The slide, and he's safe. Okay. I'm always worried. Like, what if he twists an ankle? That's, But again, nonetheless, the music has stopped. The Firebirds are heating things up in Tarble Arena off the beautiful coast of Lake Michigan in Kenosha, Wisconsin. We're excited for this matchup. We're excited you chose to be with us on this Saturday afternoon. No surprises necessarily in that starting lineup. Again, Williams going to be the player to watch. Or excuse me, Michael Eastman. A lot of local players between these two squads. Actually make that gray lettering with white trim. When the lights were off, I wasn't sure. I went with my gut instinct, and I was wrong. This is the second team in about the last week I've seen the gray lettering. Did you ever have gray letters on your jerseys?
I think we had a gray jersey at one point.
Okay. Do you still have all your jerseys from?
No, we had to turn them in.
Oh, man. The only jerseys I got to keep is when you had, it was like your last year of JV. Okay, you kept your jersey. Your last year of varsity, you kept your varsity, but you didn't keep it every year.
Yeah.
Looking overall again, Illinois Wesleyan 10-8, 1-2 in conference. They're only 2-4 away from home. The Firebirds undefeated at home. What do they got to do, Jill, being the Firebirds, to keep that, undefeated streak at home alive?
Well, the crowd being packed, it's normally packed for them when they're at home. And I mean, maybe because it's spring break right now, but it doesn't look to be that packed. So
I did hear spring break. You're right.
That might be an impact tonight, but.
Down to the side and nothing there. Firebirds get the first point. None other than Owen Otto. You called it. Player to watch, and that freshman really stepping up. Otto back. Power serve. Picked it up by the libero. Near side through the triple block. Nice job with the one hand up. Sided over by Nolan, who's getting the start, the libero position. Starting at libero for the Titans, number 4, Jake Milka. There's we'll talk about it throughout the game because, of course, I am intrigued to have your opinion. The women's game just voted for a rules change. Did you hear about this yet?
I have not heard about this.
There is going to be no longer double hits.
Oh, you're right. You know what? Yes, I did hear about that.
I am already anticipating next fall, if you and I get the call to be on the broadcast, that is going to be so interesting to see. Now, I will say, I feel there's already been a lower number of double hits called in the past few years anyway.
Yep.
So
But
we'll see what happens.
Eliminated as a whole, that's pretty big.
Yeah. That one stays in. Well, from what I read it was to, just increase points, speed up the game a bit. It's such a subjective call, some people said, some coaches said. But nonetheless, we're tied at 2. I just wanted to get since that got announced, I'm like, oh, I got to talk to Jill. I got to get her opinion on it. Some people are upset because they're like, well, it takes the skill of the setter away.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that.
I just look at it like, look, I have no skin in the game. I'm not voting. I said, you still need to have great setters set it to where it needs to go.
Very true.
And to me, that's one of the hardest things in all of sports. So
yeah, I can see both sides.
Quick set to the near side through the double, and that one falls down, not able to get there in time. Are the Firebirds, and that's number 13, Ben Heiss. So Illinois Wesleyan putting up a fight. nice and early in this contest. They've had some very good settings so far over the middle. Back to serve, number 34, Brendan Ryder. There's that quick one set, 10-foot line. Owen automatic, floating up from the Bic. Drew Jansen back to serve. As you and I joked in the pregame, it's so hard to pick just one player to look at, but this player, Drew Jansen, one of the other close calls, a service error. So, he's probably like, oh, they're talking about me now. Let me, do this. But in terms of the service game, Drew Jansen, 5 aces, but 34 service errors, leads the team in service errors.
Yeah, that's not a fun stat to have, but he can make up for it in other ways.
Sure. So checking in now. Over the middle is going to be Ethan Sprague, the middle blocker. Serving is Cholowinski. It's got to be such a good feeling to get a, conference-wide accolade as Cholowinski did.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't even imagine.
Near side, good job setting. Can't get the left hand under it. Diving in the back row is Michael Eastman. So again, we've said his name quite many a times thus far. Serving now once again is Cholowinski. Nice back set. Can the double block get there? It can. And a violation going to be called against Illinois Wesleyan. So Ryder with the back set, kind of shaking his head. I believe he's trying to say like, I didn't do it. 7-4 your score. Illinois Wesleyan, a very vocal bench. Ryder near pin. Gene McNulty far side, back in, not able to get there is Jace Milka. Nice little run right now for the Firebirds.
Yeah, Carthage has the momentum right now, but they got to be careful because when you have all the momentum, you tend to overhit a little bit or just use too much power, so you got to keep it contained for a little bit.
And that one goes out of play. So right now, 2 out of the 5 points that have gone the way of the Titans are from service errors from Carthage. But again, and you can talk about it more throughout your career, Coach Kiekefer is the type of coach he's told us many times. I tell him just keep swinging. He said that's a part of the game. You're going to have service errors, but then you're going to have killer aces at the 10-foot line or killer kills over the middle, but then you're going to have the likes of McNulty that, all right, we're just going to float it in.
Right, yeah.
What type of serve did you have?
I wanted, for the life of me, to get a floating jump serve, but I just couldn't.
Okay.
But I did have a strong, just normal serve.
Okay. Underneath it cleanly, Jansen, far side. And that one stays in.
That was a triple block, wasn't it?
It was nice. Back to serve McNulty. Ooh, that one just goes out of play. So again, another service error. Coach Kiekefer not too upset about it, but it's something to keep in mind. 10-6 your score. Three kills for Otto so far, leading the way for either team. Floating in is Anderson. Oh boy, massive kill over the middle. Ethan Sprague, bang, 11-6.
Peter, can you imagine one of his hits just flying at you?
Nope, no I can't. I've told the story before, but I once got invited to a Illinois high school like showcase recruiting event where they had top players going all across the state, and there was a young lady who had already committed full ride to Illinois State, and I'll have to show you the video because there is unfortunately footage of this that she just sent a missile at me, and I said, this is why I talk and not play, because that was one of the scariest moments of my life. Gavin now back to serve. The senior from O'Fallon Township. Blocked back in, but point's going to go to Wesleyan. It was hard to see where that one fell. And see, this is kind of the trend for Wesleyan so far in their defeats, is we keep close, but can never just bridge the gap.
Yeah.
Got to feel if Carthage gets another one. I'm intrigued to see how head coach Brandon Mueller pulls the timeout card. Does he wait for it to get a little bit further? Clearly he's not a quick trigger on the timeout. Nice up from the back row. And they're saying that went near side of the pin. So at 5, still no timeout. Were you a fan of your coach's quick trigger timeouts or let it play out?
I'd say quick trigger just because you got to shut it down when you're behind. If you're down by, what are they down by? They're down by 5 now.
Yeah.
If I were a coach, I probably would have called a timeout to set my team.
You're a college student. Do you have to take math here at Carthage?
I do have to take math, and I don't know if I can say this, but oh my God, am I bad at it.
Also, not sure if we should say, but hey, C's get degrees. So I said that once in grad school, and the death stares I looked, and I said, look, my intent in life is not to be a mathematician.
Yep.
So I want to pass, I want to graduate college, and if this is how the chips may fall, then this is where we're going to be at. I have other skills. Still trying to find out what they are 15 years later, but one day. Nice pass back to the Bick. Wesleyan able to recover. Just a high set over, and they're going to call the double. There it is. There it is. Now, one thing I have not read is if they're going to eliminate it in the men's game as well.
I was going to ask that.
That was voted on the women's side of things. I will have to see if that's going to be over here as well.
That'll be interesting.
Nice jump set to the near side. Oh, good job. Cholowinski, the Great Wall of Carthage, knocks that one back in. Lead now at 6. And Wesleyan gets it back. That is another service error. And that is the 5th service error. So half their points have come the way of the receiving end of a service error.
Yeah, when you look at it like that's not good if you're Illinois Wesleyan.
Fair point.
You can't depend on the other team's mistakes to help you win.
Flicked over by McNulty from the 10-foot line. Left side set, still in play. Back to Otto. Otto down. Otto kill. The automatic transmission fires again, 16-10. And still no substitution. So truly it seems that Coach Mueller is fully content. I digress. It's a timeout. I was waiting to see if and when that would happen. So spring break here at Carthage. So that's why things really start picking up after this. For your study time during spring break, was it, just a lot of work, any catch-up work, any semester projects? It seemed like an early spring break, if you ask me.
Yeah, it was very early. I mean, the weather's not terrible. It could be worse, but, I wish it was a little bit nicer. So just spent my time doing some homework and catching up and painting.
Math.
I had to paint the walls inside my gym.
Oh, okay. Your home gym or the work gym?
My home gym.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's my problem too. I just didn't get around to painting the gym. But no, that's so. When we look at where things are at, talk me through how you get through a spring break. Because whether it's high school, whether it's college, a spring break is a spring break. You know, what do you use with that time at the athletic level? Are you just truly trying to hit the gym more? Are you using that as, you know, rest to allow your body to refuel and recharge for the rest of the season?
You know, it's important to use that break as rest, but you also can't just do nothing and completely just stop and take a time out, because once you get back, that's just not fun when you get back right into it. You have to jump right back into it, and you're still on vacation mode. I think you got to have a happy medium of rest and also keep continuing to work.
I was always thankful when in college my spring breaks lined up with, you know, whether it's the NCAA tourney or even conference tourney around those times. And that's a coach's point. Brandon Mueller calling it. Getting back to within 5. So let's see how Illinois Wesleyan can adjust. Can they get some 2-for-1 deals at this point? Again, last time these two teams played, 25-13, 25-12, 25-10. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it was not a close matchup.
Yeah.
But much can change within that time frame. Different players, different team. I think that's why, you know, you have the old adage that you can have the same players and it's still a different year.
Right.
Carthage 6-0 all time against Wesleyan. First time they played, 2021. Down, and that one stays in the back road for Eastman. Also, bears mentioning Illinois Wesleyan has only taken 1 set in the entirety of this conference rivalry, and that was a 3-1 victory for Carthage, Feb of 2022. So it's been 3-set sweeps dating back to March of 21. That one stays in. So kind of it shows, you know, the potential growth of this team. Can they get a set? Okay, well, good. We're on that road now. Can we get 2 sets? Can we send it to 5? Can we win? Back to serve now, number 16. Vince DeCasola. Out of Oswego East. DeCasola sends it right behind the 10-foot line. Kind of floating. Nobody was around him. Misplay there by Sprague. Otto tries to get the block. Back set, hitting the net. Owen Otto not happy about that. And just like that, the Titans back to within 3. Set to the left side. DeCasola able to pick up the pieces. Triple block. Oh, McNulty just in the right spot. Pancake still alive. Sending it over is McDonald, who's checked in at the libero position. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
The howitzer from Drew Jansen back from the Bick. Carthage needs 7 for set number 1.
You know, it seems that Illinois Wesleyan tends to do a lot more fakes and tips than actual hits on the ball.
Okay, good observation. Punched up by Jansen again. Left side, that one's going the way of the Titans. So Coach Kiekefer, I believe, is claiming that that potentially near side Eastman might have touched it. It did look like it went out of play.
Yes.
So Coach Kiekefer now having a conversation with the R2. Not sure if that'll result. Walks away and just says side out. I'm sure something that's been you've heard in your career many a times.
So many times.
And I always say whenever there is a close call, a tough call, usually the other team gets that point right back. Carthage lead back to 4. Wesleyan, do they have enough to come back in set number 1? Running out of real estate for that to happen. Carthage 12 kills to 5 for the Titans. 11 assists for Carthage to 5 as well. So only Wesleyan gets the point now. Otto still leading the charge, but he's now tied at 4 kills apiece with Drew Jansen. Eastman and Coogan each with 2. Again, the lower kill numbers for Illinois Wesleyan because of the amount of errors that Carthage has self-imposed. The lefty tries to deliver. Nice up by the Titans. Back set. Double block. DiCasolo. Oh, just good awareness.
Wow.
Ben Heiss. Cool as can be. That is just spatial awareness, Jill. The fact that it was coming at him, instead of trying to set up their offense, bam, just sent it right back.
Keep in mind, Ben Heiss is a freshman. He will be here for another 3 years. That's good. If you're a Firebird, you're happy to hear that.
Block back. Jansen and Cholo on the double on the far pin. Firebirds need 4. Huge delivery. Nice recovery by Hartke. Bryce Williams out of Whitney Young in the back row. Let's see if they go that direction again. High set to the near pin. Returned on the free ball. Oh, he heard us talking about him. Bryce Williams with the bomb. And that's something that offensively Illinois Wesleyan needs to try to do, it seems. Set up Williams. He's that secondary player we talked about. You called it. They're taking Eastman out of the game. Who else can set up? And they got to get Williams involved.
Bryce Williams, he has 131 kills so far this season on attack. That's amazing.
So Firebirds get the point back. They're within 3. Coach Mueller still has 1 timeout left. Let's see if he decides to use it. Oh, finding his way through. You know, Mr. Eastman delivering the blow. So getting the serve now is Eastman. 22 service aces. Can he find lucky number 23? Quick 1 set, that's gonna go out of play and goes on the far side of the pin. What was your number when you played?
It was 7, and that's my lucky number.
All right. My daughter asked me this morning, Daddy, what's your favorite number? That's what a toddler does. I said, oh, it's 13. Why? I don't know. It was just my number as a kid. Why? I'm like, all right, we're not playing this game.
Yeah, that'll go on forever.
Near pin. Oh, my goodness.
Way to stay with it.
I don't know if I've ever seen that happen in all my years at Tarble. Out of play, but Carthage gets the point. I mean, that hit a cross beam.
Yep.
And that just came at a 45-degree angle right back to the 10-foot line. And we're at set 1 point. I mean, I think the crowd's like, oh, wait, that counted.
I thought that was going to be an Illinois Wesleyan point at first.
Trying to block back. Over the middle, nice dig by Milka. Joust at the net. Back set. Nobody able to get there. Wesleyan still alive. Serving now 23, Javier Romano. The middle blocker out of Prospects Height, went to Wheeling High School. So Jack McDonald dove for that one. He was on the spot. It looked to me like it may have been heading out of play, but again, he's right there. So you go for it, you go for it.
Yeah.
Do the Titans have 4 more? Off the tip, and that's going to be how set 1 ends. A very successful set for the Firebirds, weathering the Titans storm, 25-20. When we come back, set number 2 on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network, CCIW action On a Saturday afternoon, Firebirds take set 1, 25-20. Alongside my broadcast colleague, Jill Ryczek, I'm Peter Ferreri. Jill, looking at the numbers, what stood out to you in that first set?
Yeah, you know, looking at some of the numbers, Illinois Wesleyan has half the amount of kills that Carthage has. Carthage has 14 so far, and Illinois Wesleyan only has 7. But Carthage has just too many serving errors compared to Illinois Wesleyan. Illinois Wesleyan only has 3 so far, and Carthage has a total of 7. So coming into the second set, I'm sure Coach Kiefer was just telling him to focus when you're serving on the line and just keep it in.
Teams have switched sides. Firebirds getting the first point, serving right to left. And getting the point right back is Jake Coogan. Carthage comes in ranked number 10 right now. So that's a very good place to be. Wesleyan had a tough 4-setter against Augustana this past Wednesday evening. So Wesleyan now 2 in a row, and back to serve is Bryce Williams. Huge power serve. Oh my goodness, and that just hit off the cheekbone of Cholowinski. And Bryce Williams bringing the absolute thunder. The biology major also likes video games, anime, and cartoons. He just delivered a Kamehameha. Not able to return that.
A little miscommunication there.
How do you plan that? How do you, or I should say plan, excuse me, how do you practice that?
You have to be as vocal as you can. I swear, when you have a ball coming to you and your teammate next to you, if neither of you are talking, you're either both going for it or you're both not, and either way, it's not pretty.
Side bump, still in the air. Your pin double block now. Wesleyan with that 1-point lead. Gene McNulty on the free ball. The lethal lefty delivers. Firebirds tied at 3.
He may be a setter, but he's got a strong hit as well.
Block back, Cholo. Cholo says no, no. Firebirds back up by 1. You an anime fan at all? Ever watch the anime? Or you have brothers, right?
I do have brothers. You know what? Not a single one of us watch anime. I'm sorry to the anime fans, but
I'm just asking.
do you watch anime, Peter?
I did in my youth, when I was a little one. I say that because it was big news in that world. The creator of the show Dragon Ball passed away this week. You know, somebody posted on socials like, you know, did anybody watch it? And it's like, yeah, when I was a kid, that was a cool cartoon.
Yeah. And that was Williams who said he watches anime and cartoons?
Yep.
You know, we used to be a big fan of Tom and Jerry. That was the cartoon that we'd watch every day.
That one stayed in. Drew Jansen just shows how deep of a roster this Firebird squad is. You know, because some of the games we've called this year, Drew Jansen hasn't been available, but then you have other players able to step up. Keegan Brummett of the likes, he's not even dressed today. Back set. That one stays in, just kisses the back line. Jansen kind of shrugged his shoulders. Again, it was tailing off at the end, so not the worst call to let it go. Definitely a different feel in the second set for the Titans, as checking out is Julian Perez. Chris Chris set to the near pin. Pin to pin, coast to coast. Carthage delivers, they're up by 2. So do you have any favorite Tom and Jerry episodes, favorite scenes, being that that was a go-to? Was that the only show you were allowed to watch?
No, you know what? Because since I'm the youngest of 3 siblings, they'd always have on Disney Channel and Nickelodeon. So
Okay.
I was always watching all the shows. But
Okay.
Tom and Jerry was just an after-school favorite.
All right. I mean, if we got to start talking, DComs, we can deep dive some Disney Channel original movies if we need to,
What was your favorite one, Peter?
Whew, what was my favorite? It's hard to not go with High School Musical 2.
Oh, yeah.
What time is it? Summertime. It's our vacation. 1 set the tone. 3, graduation, fine.
A little sad.
Yeah.
But 2 is just fun in the sun. You
It
know,
was.
That's a good one.
Now that all the hard work is done. Don't try me now. Don't try me. Everybody all for one. And all for one. 10-foot line. Oh, dropping back in. Just good awareness by the Firebirds. And like you said, Wesleyan, they have the skills. They have the talent. It's just one step. It's one hit.
Yeah.
It's 1 minute, 1 second away from being where they need to on those certain plays. And again, it's easier said than done when you have such an influx of underclassmen making an impact. Firebirds with another. They're up by 4. Let's see if Coach Mueller allows it to go another. Did you like Descendants at all?
No, Dove Cameron kind of scared me a little bit in that one. But I like, oh gosh, what's her name? Uma?
Yeah.
The What's My Name song?
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was a little catchy. Oh, wait a
Ooh, couldn't quite get there. Nice slide by Jace Milka. And timeout going to be called. It hit that 5 points. So similar to set number 1, it seems that Coach Mueller, all right, once it gets to 5, then we'll make the adjustment. Let's talk about Wesleyan right now. Some of the numbers. What is Wesleyan? What's that conversation now? Because again, at one point it was 8-6. They were really looking good, and then just one by one, point by point, it started to get away. What's the discussion right now in the huddle?
I mean, it looks as though comparing the first set to this set, they are starting to be a little more aggressive with their kills. They have 12 so far over the matches, and they have 11 attack errors. So if they can just get their if they can just get their hits to be a kill, the scoreboard would be a lot closer for sure.
China and McLean, there it is. I was waiting for it. I'm like, who? My brain just stopped working. China and McLean, formerly from Ant Farm.
Yeah, that was a weird show.
That
was a little weird.
Yeah.
That very first episode, this is getting a little too into it, but the very first episode when they make themselves out of wax and then they start to melt by the lamp, like to sneak out.
Yeah, it was a lot.
That was a little weird.
Yeah. But I will say the theme song, I Am, You Are, We Are, was it Incredible? I think it was Incredible. I am, you are, we are.
I mean, she was a singer, too.
Yes, she was. Calling All the Monsters, banger.
Yep.
Absolute banger. Oh, man. That was a good one. Her and her sisters remade that this year for its 10th anniversary as like more of a slow down one. Yeah. Zombies? You watch any of the Zombies? That's probably a little young for you, but
it is a little young. But I can't watch zombie stuff. Walking Dead. None of that.
Not your jam.
Not
all right.
my jam.
My wife jokes if the zombie apocalypse happened, she'd be like, "Nah, I just walk toward him." She goes, "I'm not trying." She goes, "You take the kid. I'm good." Oh!
Wow.
Absolute haymaker from Bryce Williams. Conjured up a beautiful concoction. KO Ken level 10. I'm saying these references so in hopes that if he goes back and watches, he'll be like, okay. I'm pulling
Peter
these.
knows his anime.
I'm pulling it out from, 20-something years ago. Back set. Left pin. Back row not able to find it. McDonald. Again, just fell in that campfire. I've always heard coaches say when situations like that happen, we'd rather 2 players go for it than none.
Yeah.
Rather 3 players go for it. Give yourself a chance than just have it drop.
Wow.
Oof, not able to get there.
You can just hear how hard that hit was.
Did you like any of the Selena Gomez stuff, Wizards of Waverly Place?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was a big one.
How about Shake It Up, Chicago, with
like Shake It
Zendaya
Up,
and Bella
yeah.
Thorne?
Yep.
Fun fact, I have interviewed Zendaya and Bella Thorne. That's claim to fame.
No, that's impressive.
That's the pinned post on my X/Twitter is when I got to interview Zendaya and Bella Thorne years ago.
Wow. So basically, you know Tom Holland.
Yeah, basically. Pre-Tom Holland, but, you know, through osmosis of having met Zendaya. (15-7), Firebirds starting to pull away with it. Hit up in the air, back row out of play. So what we saw happening with Carthage in set number 1 with they making the mistakes and giving points to Wesleyan, now Wesleyan's starting to make some of those rare mistakes of themselves. That one falls in. Firebirds up by 10. See, now you're at the point. It used to be 5. Do you even use your second timeout, or do you say, okay, let's ride this out and see how it goes?
I still think they need to use their timeout.
Okay, okay.
Especially when you have Owen Otto at the serving line. He leads his team in serving aces with 14, so.
One stays in. Wesleyan. All you need is 1. I always use the old adage, 17-10. I've seen so many times where teams hit 17-10, high school or collegiate level, and the team with 10 still can come back.
Oh, yeah. It's not impossible, but it's very hard to do when you're facing a team like Carthage.
There's that float serve. Left side, and that goes 6 rows up at Tarble Arena. Firebirds maintain that 10-point lead. Jansen and Otto blow for blow, 6 apiece right now. As now we have some subs. In to serve is going to be Easton Gavin, as well as looking to be number 16, Josiah Flager Herran, excuse me. That one goes, getting the long, is Wesleyan. You never said what your favorite decom was, though. You kept making me talk about this stuff.
There's just too many good ones to choose from. There really is.
I mean, did you like any of the deep cups like Zapped or, you know, what was it, Hatching Pete?
Yeah, Zapped is the one with Zendaya, right? The dancing one.
Zapped was.
Yeah,
with,
that was a good one.
Yeah.
I did like that one.
Were you Camp Rock at all? Or?
Oh, yeah, big
okay.
Camp Rock, for sure. I liked Hannah Montana.
Got it, got it. I have met Ana Maria Perez de Tagle. I've met Megan Martin.
Wow, Peter.
In my past career, I'll have to send you the links. You'll laugh. It was a different time. It was a different life. I liked Starstruck. That was a good one with Sterling Knight. That was okay. You know, I was one of the few that liked that one, but
I like the songs from it when they get stuck in the mud too. That was cool.
Went out of play.
A lot of power on that one.
Mitch Geiger might have been starstruck. Camera flashing, cover of magazines. I always, it makes me think about life. Like the fact that I haven't said the name starstruck in over 10 years, say it, and then your brain just, it fires. And it's like, oh, here's the lyrics
Brings
to
you
the
right
song.
back, yeah.
Did you have hype up songs? I think we talked about it in a prior broadcast, but warm up, stretching maybe, or on the bus ride to the opposing school.
Yeah, my team always liked to play Party in the USA by
Oh,
Miley Cyrus, which,
why not?
I know she's one of your favorites.
We are Miley Stans in this booth. Grammy Award winning.
Very true. She just won her first this year,
Yes,
didn't
she did. Falling away and out of play.
And to think, maybe if she didn't go on Hannah Montana, she probably wouldn't have a Grammy.
Probably, she just being Miley.
I feel like when you listen to songs, you just go right to the lyrics and just study the lyrics.
You hear it so many times in life, but 14-5 is the error differential right now for Illinois Wesleyan. And Carthage is going to get the point. Another violation for Illinois Wesleyan. Not the set they wanted in set number 2. Again, in Hartke now 6 errors. This is one of those just throw away the film for set number 2. Get ready for set number 3.
Yep.
This communication, Firebirds need 2.
Yep, that seems to be a big part of Illinois Wesleyan's errors tonight.
Setting up now. Owen Hendricks sends that one a bit far. Hendricks, the outside hitting freshman out of West Aurora. Mitch Geiger in the game now. Huron at the far side. Out of Belleville East. Nice dig by McDonald. Joust. Going to be won by Carthage at the very end. Also checked into the game, Bradley Benson out of Lamont Township. As well as Hayden Warfield out of Dakar, Senegal. Here comes the serve for Flager Hernan. This time by Warfield, and set 2, all Firebirds, 25-12. Can the Firebirds get another sweep against the visiting Titans, or can the Titans push it to 4? We'll find out on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. And we're back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network alongside Jill Ryczek. I'm Peter Ferreri. Jill, talk us through set number 2. It really favored Carthage, but it was just a complete offensive attack, and they allowed Illinois Wesleyan to make plenty of mistakes.
Yeah, Carthage came out on top that second set, 25-12. I mean, Illinois Wesleyan, they're just not completing the plays that they need to complete. And I mean, Michael Eastman, he's normally their top player, and he's doing a great job tonight. But Bryce Williams is stepping up tonight. I mean, he has a total of 5 points, and he's definitely become their backup when they can't depend on Michael Eastman for a match or two.
Again, you don't want to look too far ahead of things, but when you look at the overall situation, it's a tough one for Wesleyan. They want to try to get some momentum. It's not often where they're not scoring this many points. Even in their, contest recently against Augustana, they had this situation in set 1, 25-12. They clawed back and tried to do as much as they can, but again, when you get in that much of a hole, a lot of it's got to be mental.
Oh, yeah.
Set to the Bick, still alive, push back Williams. Out of play, not able to get there. Adam Blackmore's going to get some reps at the libero position now.
If you're a Firebird wanting to go out 3-0, then this is a great start that you want to see.
Back set, out of play. The Birds get another one. I appreciate they're trying to mix things up in the lineup right now, being Illinois Wesleyan. Coach Mueller, Coach Finch trying to dial things up. And not to downplay the Firebirds. There's not a singular thing they're doing exceptionally. They're just doing their game. They're playing their game, their style, and Wesleyan just hasn't made enough of that fine-tuning adjustment so far. Zach Nolan back in at libero. Nice set over the middle, but Nolan able to get there. Falling away, Jansen tries to go. Oh, again, Jansen just says, all right, I feel that back row might be open. Let's take that chance, and even the chances are working right now. It's hard to believe set 1 was 25-20 at this point.
Right.
A lot of Wesleyan fans made the trip up from Bloomington Normal. About a 4.5-hour drive. Wesleyan gets their first point, similar to set 1, on an error. So Williams now to serve. Williams, a 4-year letter winner, 3-year starter as the outside hitter for the volleyball team. 2 city championships in 22 and 23. 2 IHSA regional championships in those same year. Firebirds coming away with a point. Serving for Carthage is going to be Easton Gavin out of O'Fallon. Gavin, no aces on the year, not going to get one there. Dropping back again, just you saw the situation where Cholowinski jumped and the Titans kind of bit on it going for the first block. Jansen just put it where it needed to go. From the 10-foot line, able to keep it in. Good job, good composure by Myers. Mark that, Milka. Jansen, nice dive at the 10-foot line. Falling away and finding the campfire. Nice job by Eastman. Only you can prevent forest fires. Can this be the heat wave that Wesleyan desperately needs in set number 3?
I feel like that might have been the longest rally so far today. They haven't really been going back and forth all that much.
You know, you bring up a great point. There haven't been a lot of rallies. Very quick volley. We are a mere 65 minutes into game action. We're already well into set number 3. Jansen just kind of finds the gap on that one as well. Serving for Carthage, it's going to be Mitch Geiger. Geiger, one of the serve specialists. On the near side, good job. Now we're Eastman starting to heat up. Let's see if Coach Kike from the Firebirds make any adjustments, because this is what we expected to see from the very beginning of the contest. Bradley Benson. Left-hand power serve, one of the serve specialists. Point for Jansen yet again. Block sent it out of play. Serving for Carthage is Drew Jansen. Again, everything just clicking for the Firebirds. Jansen with the right. And a double hit called, so Jansen's going to ask about it. Talking about how well Bryce Williams is doing. He had a team-high 9 kills in their loss against Augustana. So it's really, for a freshman, playing such a vital role. So I think that bears mentioning, because that's a foundation piece for now and the future. You got 4 years to build around, because yes, you're losing somebody like Eastman being a senior, but again, you're having somebody you can grow around, like the freshman Williams, the freshman Ryder, sophomore and Milka. And these are some key players that are on the younger side. Hartke, a junior.
Yeah, and you have to give credit to Bryce Williams, because looking at him and Michael Eastman, they match up pretty equally, and they're both very dependent on for this Illinois Wesleyan team. But Eastman's a senior and Williams is a freshman, so when you look at the comparison, it's very impressive for Williams to equal a senior.
From the 10-foot line, sailing in, Eastman absolutely navigating that to the floor, and Wesleyan back to within 3. Eastman, a record team best 178 kills with a .263 attack percentage. Answering right back, Owen Otto. Talk about freshmen. There's the freshman centerpiece for the future of the Firebirds.
Yep.
Geiger serves with the left. Nice quick set, that stays in. Point gonna go to Jake Coogan, the junior out of Lincoln Way East.
That's what you need if you're Illinois Wesleyan. You don't want to go down by any more than 3 when you're in your 3rd set and you haven't won a single one.
Oh, it literally dropped at the feet of Eastman, and that's just a no man's land kill. Nothing you can do but sit and watch. Back to serve Otto. The freshman out of Hartford, Wisconsin, with the air, and back to serve now is once again Bryce Williams. Williams, a deep breath, huge spin. They're giving that one to Carthage, just out of play. Coach Kiefer, kind of see him waving his arms like, let's go, let's get hyped up a bit. Let's finish this. You don't want to give him an opportunity to come back. Three setters on the season for Wesleyan, including, that one goes to Carthage, but they did have a reverse sweep against Lakeland. They fell 25-23 in sets 1 and 2, then won 25-21, 25-17, and then 15-10. So they do have, you know, under their cap this year, the very thing that they need today. So it's not out of the question. Also, they have a 5-set victory against the Scarlet Hawks of Illinois Tech, where they lost set 1, won set 2, lost 3, won 4, won 5. That's a back and forth battle. Oof. They trail, however, by 4 in set 3 against nationally ranked number 10, Carthage. Oh!
Wow.
Breaking the floorboards. Ryan Cholowinski. Banger. Up by Williams. Just coming in on the free ball. Nice job. Cholo goes too far. He immediately threw up his jersey. He was frustrated with himself. He knew that he didn't get that down in time.
Yeah, when that's a free ball, you're going to get mad at yourself if you don't get that point.
Serving once again, serve specialist Benson. Really appreciate that lefty serve that Benson delivers. Jansen now. Out of Colgate, Wisconsin, went to Germantown High School. That hits the tape and falls. Eastman, too far again.
I feel like all we've done is say Michael Eastman's name tonight.
Yeah.
But, you know, he has 22 serving aces so far this season and 43 errors. But, like I said, he can make up for it in other ways.
Wow. Michael Yem in the contest now to serve. Yep. St. Louis University product, and timeout called. Firebirds up by 6. You know, it's a calmer broadcast, I think, for the fact that it's, you know, very back and forth in set 1. And don't forget, in set 2, it was close the first 10 points.
Yeah.
But as you see on some of these replays, Carthage just really took command of this about 10 points into set number 2, and they haven't looked back. Let's talk about the Firebirds as they look ahead on the season, and as they continue on, they play North Park this Wednesday at 7 o'clock. After that, they head to Augustana and Rock Island, bit southeast to Benedictine and Lisle before, for one of their final non-con games. And then they're back home March the 23rd against North Central College. As for Illinois Wesleyan, after this, it doesn't get much easier as they welcome North Central College to Bloomington Normal against number 11, North Central. Then they head west to Dubuque to take on Loris, ranked number 5, who recently handed Carthage a loss. And then back to Augustana, and then they welcome Carthage on Wednesday, the 27th of this month. Can't believe we're in March already.
I know, the season's already halfway over.
That one stays in, so even the mishandle drops where it needs to for Alec Mucha, the middle blocking senior out of Geneva. You take points where you can, and a much needed point for Wesleyan.
Free ball.
Over the middle, swatting at it is Eastman. Not much he could do.
I feel like Carthage has slowed down their service errors, and due to that, they're just able to slowly pull away from Illinois.
Geiger to serve. Set, palmed into the net is Eastman. Not sure if he's in attendance, but Eastman, the son of legendary high school head coach Eric Eastman, who coached the girls and boys squad at St. Ignatius College Prep. Can't handle that one. Again, when it's right in that in-between, I call it, too low to set, too high to bump, and nothing you could do.
Yeah, there's not much you can do on that one.
Over the middle, bringing it down is Jake Coogan. Firebirds need 5, but could this be the spark that Wesleyan needs? I just like to watch volleyball, give me as much as I can.
Yeah, it's a great sport to watch.
Vince DiCasola now. Firebirds get another one. They are down to 4. Serving is going to be Onato. Don't forget, stick around for the post-game show. Coach J.W. Keykafer joins us up here in the booth to go over some news and notes of this contest. Sure, he will be more than pleased to come away with a home sweep. At least I would be, but we'll see what he has to say. He's a perfectionist if you have not watched the post-game show before, so I would not be surprised if, he has some nitpicks or some keys that he'd like to see. Talked about Vince DiCasola out of Oswego East, had a team-high 17 assists and eclipsed the 1,000 career assist mark, the first Titan in program history to do so, so shout out there. Back set, left hand. Back set again, nice up. Eastman drops it in just before the far line. As you see, almost the entire coaching staff of Carthage immediately bounce up, Mike Stevens, Jacob Bush.
Yep. That was a little switch up for Michael Eason.
Yeah.
Little tip instead of a hard hit.
Huge back set. Falling away. DeCasola to the near pin. Block back. Staying in play. Firebirds need 2. Back set. Tools it out of play. Jace Milka, the sophomore out of Plainfield East. We talked about the younger players really having opportunity to step up, bright future for the team. And he's one of those key components. Oh, absolute knuckleball. I mean, that did not rotate at all.
Yeah, that's a hard spot to return. Good placement.
Set point for the Firebirds. Match point. Here comes the slow clap. The delivery for Heiss. And Wesleyan lives to play another one. Again, we will be back this Wednesday evening. North Park University, another CCIW matchup. The lefty. Sending it right back. Wesleyan gets another. Nice little run for the visiting Titans.
They haven't had too many of those so far today. But if they're going to have one, I guess now is the best time to have one.
Ten-foot line, down, kill, and the match. The home Firebirds sweep the visiting Titans. History indeed repeats itself in Kenosha. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, the post-game show with J.W. Keykafer alongside Jill Ryczek. I'm Peter Ferreri on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. And welcome into the post-game show alongside Jill Ryczek. I'm Peter Ferreri with the winning coach, Coach J.W. Kiefer. Coach, you've swept them time and time again, but they put up a battle in the first. I thought maybe a different fate for them. However, you really sealed things midway through the second. Didn't slow down at all. Talk us through the overall process today.
Yeah, really proud of our fight throughout that match. I really think that we've been struggling to get the ball into the center of the court this year with the new faces we have and the new names we have on the court. And we really wanted to focus on that today, is getting the ball to the middle BIC and be really aggressive in there. And so proud of the way G. McNulty ran the offense today. Was really efficient all day long.
Yeah.
And when we can, score out of the middle like Ethan Sprague was today, what did he end up hitting? It was pretty unreal. It was 583 on 8 kills.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's pretty okay. and then we got the BIC going over the top to Drew Jansen, who also 471 and went out at 450. So that's Carthage volleyball. We can get the ball into the center of the court, middle BIC, and we're impossible to stop when we do that the right way. And so we got to go back into the lab and keep working on that stuff. But it's just fun volleyball. We can win that way. So proud of the group, proud of Ethan, proud of Ryan Cholowinski for opening up the court for us in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Coach, you had a great win tonight, but you had a total of 12 serving errors for the night. What do you tell your team when you have 12 errors? How do you stop that?
That's actually a low number for us, to be honest with you. Usually we actually make a couple more than that. Yeah, we've been working on serving a lot. I think you saw the guys we kind of put in there to serve today. Serving errors has been an issue for us this season. And so we're trying to solve that a little bit by getting some serving subs in there that do a really nice job. Easton Gavin obviously has been one. Michael Yem we've been working in recently. Ryan Morey went in there as well today to serve sub. And then Mitch Geiger has one of the better arms from our team off the bench, so he's going to kind of bring a little more heat when he goes to serve sub for us. So trying to find the right serving contingent, if you will. I think we talked in the locker room that we got to keep our competitive switch on. And I think at times today you can kind of feel the energy maybe leave the gym a little bit in the third set.
We saw you going like this.
Yeah, the third set.
I thought that was telling us to get going.
Everybody needs to pick it up, pick the energy up. I think both sides just missed a ton of serves there in set 3, and it got a little boring. And so we got to stay focused and disciplined, and that was kind of the message today is in the locker room is the discipline factor. We're disciplined when we're competitive, and when we lose that competitive drive, we lose our discipline. And so going back to the baseline, staying focused on where you want to hit it, staying focused on your routine and going to do it. So that's where we're trying to get going there in those phases in the serving errors.
Yep.
Yeah. And you had mentioned McNulty. He had 6 digs so far tonight, and he had 3 serving aces. And Owen Otto with 11 kills. You guys dominated all 3 sets, and we can see how much communication your team has amongst themselves. How do you feel knowing that your team can communicate and it really helps with your team?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we're trying to work through even more is communicate at a higher level in rally. I think that's been, with a young team, that's kind of the biggest weaknesses you often see is that they're just kind of there playing and the system stuff isn't great. And that is basically from your communication levels. And so that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. The guys will probably be bringing that back to me if they watch this interview and say, look, we communicate well, Coach. But, that's been something we've focused on at a high level this season is communicating about the system, communicate where you're going to be, communicate about what that team wants to do, getting us ready to go make plays. And so when we communicate at a high level, both before the point about the scout and during the point about the system, we're really, really good. So they're going to get mad at me because they're going to say they did a good job. And I'm going to go back at them and say they got to do better.
So, Coach, you did a horrible job communicating. What are you going to do to fix it? No. Looking ahead, we're right back home on Wednesday, North Park. And I always say with CCIW play, right now their record isn't that reflective, but I'm sure you wish you had a better record. What's the outlook for North Park and then a very quick turnaround to Augustana?
Yeah, this conference has been so competitive in the past, and it continues to be so competitive.
Yeah.
The best conference in the country for men's volleyball. And so there's no nights off. I'm thankful that we get to be in Tarble. We got a lot of away matches this season, so any match here is precious, and our ability to defend our home court in the conference play is imperative. If you can win matches you have to win matches at home, and then go steal matches on the road. So we get another home match against North Park. Really, really excited. I hope the campus wants to come out and watch some really good volleyball because North Park has been in the CCW tournament for the last 3 years. So they're a really good volleyball team. They like to run through their pins. They do a really nice job. Their setter Eric Blard, it can really move the ball around the court really well, and they play great offense in the pins. So we got to be locked in, and our strength is in the middle of the court, the middle bick, and so we're going to try to fight him with our strength, and that's the middle bick, and hopefully we can defend their strength on the pins. Getting locked in for the end of the season here. One of the things we've talked about a lot is every season has ebbs and flows, and you can get better, and at a certain point you plateau, and fighting that plateau and not taking it for granted and being ready to go play and keeping your standards high every single time you come out to continue to elevate towards getting better. It's crazy important for this group in particular because we're so young. At one point we had 4, maybe Ryan Kelly served too. We might have had 5 freshmen on the floor at one point when Owen Hendricks goes in for Drew Jansen at set 2, and then Ryan Kelly serve sub. Like we can play 4 to 5 freshmen, and we're young. We're a young volleyball team. We have a lot of old seniors, but we play a lot of freshmen sometimes. And we got to elevate our play, and we can get so much better, and even our seniors can get so much better. You saw Drew Jansen today, who's had a couple matches off. Key Berman's been playing really well in left pin. Drew Jansen gets his turn today. 471. My goodness. And that's, an outside who hasn't been playing as much volleyball recently. He comes off the bench, he hears his number, and he goes, makes plays offensively in serve receive with his block.
Brummett okay, or coaching decision?
He's okay. He's okay. We'll see where it comes from. A little banged up. We'll see where he's able to get back.
You're used to that by now, year after year.
I said that to the guys on the bench. Look, we had 6 guys out today. And again, the depth of this team is impressive. The number of guys that should or could be starting who are out right now. And we're still the 10th team in the country, and we're pushing to we're right on the cusp of making the NCAA tournament. Second in the CCIW right now. Man, is it impressive what this team has been able to play and do for each other. And every single moment, whoever name is called, they're there to play for their friend next to them. One of our guys, Ryan Morey's, trying to get somebody else in. He's like, hey, if we get around, let R. Kelly set. And let Ryan set. And he was right. Like, let's get those guys in who deserved it and have played their tails off from the bench to get more time. It's cool. It's cool to see these guys bought in for everybody. Not themselves, but for this team and for that extra point that he may get at the end of it. So I'm really proud of what this team is doing in the collective and wanting the best for each other. Really, really proud of them.
Well, Coach, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you in about 3-4 days.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you both being here. It means a lot. Go Birds.
Thanks, Coach.
Again, that was Coach J.W. Kiefer. Let's look at the final stats. It's as one-sided as you can get, but again, Illinois Wesleyan, they started out well in the first, allowing Carthage to make so many mistakes, just didn't necessarily end that way. Final thoughts before we sign off.
Carthage just dominated all day today, and Illinois Wesleyan just unfortunately fell short. And, most of their points were at a point coming from Carthage's service errors, and that was just the big thing of the day. And they were able to still overcome that and just play their game, and they just overpowered.
Well, we want to thank everybody for joining us this Saturday afternoon. The producers, the directors from Michael Love, John Voinovich, the rest of the staff, Morgan, Laura, Yam, and Ainsley. This has been a presentation and program of Carthage College, copyright 2024, from my broadcast colleague, Jill Ryczek. I'm Peter Ferreri. Firebirds sweep the Titans in Kenosha. We'll be back Wednesday evening, right back here at Tarble. Have a good rest of your night, everybody.